Today we're going to be installing VMX. You require the following files for this: VMXBuilder, VMX Core, and VMWare Player. You can download it from the links located here. You'll need to download them from the website and install these files before we can begin. So today we'll be installing Windows Server 2008 as an example. You'll require the setup file for this, which is the ISO file, or the installation CD. Today I'll be using the ISO file. The first step here is to make a new folder on your desktop called Windows Server 2008. Once that's done, open up VMXBuilder and select Create New Virtual Image. Select your newly created folder on the desktop. Mine is Microsoft Windows Server. Click OK. Name your image, something appropriate like Microsoft Windows Server 2008. Select OK. Once that's done, you'll have a menu here which you can see. The first step is to name your image. Now you need to change the file name. Make sure to leave the .vmx attachment here. The target platform we'll be using is VMX Player, which you downloaded previously. And the version is 2.5, the latest version. The guest OS family is Microsoft Windows, as we are installing Windows Server 2008. And of course the version is Windows Server 2008 down the bottom here. Make sure to select 2008 server, not 64, unless you're installing the 64-bit version. Now you need to select your hardware, so select the hardware tab at the top here. The first step is to specify how much RAM the VMX image should use. My system has 4 GB, so I'm allowed to use 1 GB of RAM. If your system has 1 GB of RAM, you probably should look at using 512 or less, or else your system may freeze up. The next step is to add a new hard drive. Click Add and then select Hard Disk. You'll get a menu over here. You'll need to select Create New and select an appropriate size. Considering Windows Server will use about 6 GB of space, I'll select 12 GB just for the applications I install on it. Make sure the gigabyte is selected here and select OK. You'll now need to add a CD drive so that we can install from a disk or an ISO file. Click Add and then select DVD CD-ROM drive. Now as we are using an ISO image, and we will need to select Use ISO image instead of physical drive because we're not using a CD drive. So select the ISO image and select the location of your ISO image. Now my image is currently on the desktop, as you can see. However, it's a good idea to put it in the folder that you're using for your image. So just select it and drag it over into the folder. Now go back into VMXBuilder and select the image location. And as we can see, it's in the folder. Double click it and that should have worked correctly. Now you also might want to add a USB or sound if you are using those functions, such as adding a hard drive to the image or playing music from it. So select Add if you want to install a USB, select a USB controller and select OK. If you're using high-speed USB, select high-speed USB 2. Once you've done that, you'll now need to add your network adapters. So select Add and choose network adapter from the list. If you have multiple network adapters, it is a good idea to select both of them so that they are both being utilized. So select OK, Add, and network adapter again. Once you've selected all your hardware, you'll now need to save the image. So at the top left here, click Save, you'll be prompted to say OK, click OK, and you're done. Now the only thing left to do is to click play at the top left here. Once you've selected play, you've got the VMX window which comes up, and if it was worked correctly, your Windows Server 2008 should go up into setup mode, as we can see it has here, and you just install it as you normally would if you were doing it on a computer.